Welcome back. Today I'm trying something a little different, so I've got a bit of a dual camera set up down here in order to have a look at the screen as well as film this. We're going to take a look at some new additions that I've got through from amigakit.com, and it should provide a much more enjoyable experience overall. And what box of goodies do we have in here? Well, we've got ourselves a new audio lead, so that'll actually connect through to the speakers which I have now. They're actually the old Philips speakers that I used to use for my Amiga back in the day, and they used to function absolutely perfectly for every application I could ask of. So we'll see whether they still function after I don't know how many years in storage, but that at least allows me to plug something in. And this, well, I don't have it out of its packaging yet. That's a new mouse. I don't have any mice with my Amigas, as I stupidly got rid of them all when I packed mine away. And we also have another input device in here. This is a joystick, which it looks massive. I mean, you can see my hand next to it. I didn't actually expect it to be quite so big, but at least it should be quite hardy. So let's take a look. Well, look at that. That is a joystick and a half, isn't it? Actually assembled by AmigaKit themselves. We've got two nice big buttons there. Standard stick. Not entirely sure what the switch on the side does, but at least it's got the proper 9-pin DIN connector on it, so that'll go nicely with any Amiga system. I'll plug that in a second, but let's have a look at the other stuff that's in the box. And here we have the AmigaKit mouse. Seems like a nice little device, scroll wheel, left right mouse button, and the lovely Amiga tick on it there. It's also a laser mouse, so that's a nice surprise. At least I won't get any gummed up balls. Sorry about that. It's also 9-pin DIN, so that will also plug into every Amiga available. Classic Amiga, I must say. But at least I have input devices now, so let's give these a go. Well, I've just discovered a bit of a flaw in the plan, as it were. I've been saying that these will work with every Amiga system, but there's just one issue. I'll show you. Now, let's focus a bit tighter. What happens is there are edges on this port that prevent it getting in. So that won't go in either port on the A600. I don't think I should have that issue with the 1200 or 500s, but it's not going to work on these without any kind of extended cables. So I'm going to need to grab a 1200 out of the loft, one that works hopefully. We'll try these again. The same applies with the mouse, I'm afraid, so neither of these are going to plug into the 600 as is. So we've got the 1200 plugged in now, with audio cables and VGA adapter there, and both mouse and joystick plugged in, so they are ready to go. The only trouble is, my power supply has now decided to give up the ghost and is no longer working. So I'm going to have to dig out another power supply. Luckily I think there's another one with his A1200, and we'll give that one a go. So here we have the power supply supplied with that A1200. Let's give that one a go. We have lights. We don't appear to have a screen. There it is. Whoa, that's a lot more ropey than it was previously. Now I'm wondering which A1200 I picked up, whether it's the one that was already giving me dodgy flashes and stuff. It seems to be okay at the moment, but let's give it a go with some of these input devices. And today's game of choice is Super Stardust. It's a bit squeaky. Now I'm not sure if you can hear the ticking, but it's almost like a clockwork going on in there. And nothing happening on screen. Should we try a different disc? Let's try a different disc. Well, we know it worked last time around on the 600. Now let's give it a go on the 1200. Ooh, nice sounds. I'm unsure whether the 1200 actually plays Project X. Actually, this might be one of those ones where CPU caches have to be disabled or what have you, because this doesn't sound good to me. Let's get into the boot screen. So now we have the boot screen. Let's have a look at the boot options. The mouse works, so that's a plus. You can see the screen is a bit more not quite as centered as I'd expect. Expansion ports, display options. Let's put it to enhanced, and disable CPU caches. You can see on here we've got boot devices. That's the floppy drive DF0, and CC0 is known as the card disk. That's your PCMCIA slot on the left hand side of the A1200 and A600. Let's give this a go. Boot. Yes, there's the Team 17 splash screen. Oh. So the speakers work then. I had no idea that that was off. It's great to hear again. Now I'm going to leave this one running. Let's check out the joystick. Now the display's not exactly brilliant at the moment. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Let's try. I mean, everything's in there properly. I think that could just be as a result of this A1200, I suppose. I tried it with the 600 and it gave a nice display. Why it's doing this with the 1200, I don't know. I might have to try the scan doubler again with this one. Missing the power-ups, aren't they? No good. Now there's some lovely micro switches on it. You can probably hear it. Much better than that squeaky, sticky thing I was playing with. Whoa! The last time round. Plus this actually works. Oh yeah, I've got missiles now. Now this is an absolute nostalgia trip for me. Yeah, and now I remember some of the controls. Space, you can see at the bottom of the screen there's a bar that as you collect power-ups, as you select power-ups, allows you to then press spacebar to select the next one. So this will do laser. Oh, straight into the rock. I'm going back in. I don't think you get any actual points for destroying astro. Oh no, you do. Look at them adding up at the top there. I don't care that the screen's looking a bit bad and I'm doing bad as well, but this is... I'm so happy. Okay, so I'm going to put my performance in the game down to my my talking to the camera. I'm fully aware that Project X was a very difficult game back in the day, let alone these days, where your hand is held across most things. This clearly works. I'm very happy with this joystick. Nice and clicky. It's nice and stable as well. I know I commented on the size earlier on, but this is staying put. This is not moving around with my excerpts. Boom! There we go. That was me trying to change to a different power up, and the game decided to send in a. Oh well, high score. Never mind. Right, let's try the mouse with something. I can see that the light is on the mouse, so that does work. Let's see what I can find that's mouse compatible. Right, I've plugged the scan doubler back in. I think that might look a bit better. Not sure the fonts look entirely right on the insert disc screen. Topaz seems a bit truncated in places, particularly on here, on right. But anyway, what am I trying? I am trying Deluxe Paint 4! This isn't the AGA version. I'm sure I've got the AGA version somewhere, but for some reason I've got two big boxes of Deluxe Paint 4. The mouse works, and I'm happy with that. Back in the Amiga Workbench. I have no idea how long it's been since I've used Workbench. Graphics memory is of course chip RAM. Other memory is fast RAM. So if you've got a expansion card installed in the trapdoor, with memory on it. That's classed as fast mem. That only gets used by the processor and not by any other part of the custom chip. So I'm not happy with that. Let's give that a retry. Could be that I need to give this 1200 a bit of a head clean. There's been some interesting sounds from this disk drive today. But anyway, as I was saying, fast RAM only gets used by the CPU, so it basically it frees up chip RAM because the CPU doesn't need to dump anything into dump anything into chip RAM. It can use fast RAM instead, and so if you're doing graphical intensive things and you need all the chip RAM you need, then getting some fast RAM in there can really speed up your Amiga, particularly when you're doing stuff in Workbench. Now here we have the screen format at the beginning of Deluxe Paint. I'm going to leave overscan off. I'm going to leave it as PAL, and yeah, I'll just leave it as default. Actually, let's just go into it. Deluxe Paint colour. It's closed to Workbench, so that's not behind there. Interesting screen is doing that. I'm guessing that the monitor's decided that it's going to display the overscan part of it. I know overscan wasn't picked, but the Amiga display tends to pump out something a bit bigger, and so it starts about 44 pixels down and a bit across. Hence why that's jumping when I go into the menu. So, what should we draw today? It has been so long since I've used D-Paint, and yet the program is so intuitive that it comes back. There you go, a very quick Amiga, although I'm going to say this is probably more of an A500 because it's the flat back and quite deep case. I like how that works. That is a wonderful mouse, reacts nicely, and it's just a joy to see a properly hardware driven mouse again. This is literally straight through the cable, straight through the hardware, straight onto the screen. It's beautiful. The sense of response you get from it it is not matched in any modern system, whether it's a Mac, whether it's PC, whether it's Lumix. It's just never as good as the Amiga was, or indeed still is. There you go. Let's put some colour in there. Go a bit Bob Ross here. Yeah, let's put some colour up there for our friends to live. Not sure why it's red. Anyway, Deluxe Paint works, mouse works. This A1200 seems a bit funny. I don't seem to have a stable A1200 now, because I thought this one was the one that actually worked quite nicely. But there we go. I'm glad that joystick works fine. I'm glad the mouse works fine. I've finally got audio. I'm sorry for the deafening sound earlier, but hopefully I can show you more next time. I'm gradually getting my Amiga setups fixed, and the room as a whole sorted, so it should be a bit lighter and a bit more professionally done next time round. Thanks for watching.